Good, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Chosen Podcast. I'm Wes with the Chosen Ones. I got a dope episode today. One of the toughest guards to come out recently out of the Grand Rapids area. Um, Saw this dude play a bunch of times with my camera and without my camera. So excited to have you on, Austin. Austin Braun, what's going on, man?
So I appreciate you for having me. Excited.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Yeah, like I said, I filmed a couple of your games, watched you a lot, but never really actually sat down and talked to you. So I'm excited to chop it up with you a little bit and hear about some updates that you have in your
Most
college
definitely.
career. So excited to hear that, bro. But we
For
talked a little
sure.
bit off camera. But what you been up to lately?
Yeah, I just got back from school last week, so we ended a little bit late, but just got straight to the work. Been in the gym every morning, and I'm working actually at Life Quest. It's the church that I go to, so just been helping out around there, whatever they need done. And we actually were out in Saugatuck working on our pastor. He just got a new place, so we were helping him with landscaping and getting everything set up there. So
Yeah,
it's been a great start to the summer.
that's what's up. That's what's up. Shout out to
Mm.
Life Quest. That's cool. I didn't know you went there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Jerry. Shout out to Pastor Jerry Bishop. That's my
yeah.
guy.
Jerry Bishop, he's cool, man.
So, hmm
It's funny, man. He's like so plugged into the community. Like
oh yeah.
everybody knows him, but it's funny how he knows everybody. I remember I was doing some radio show one time and he was on a spot before me and I was just in the room just kind of chilling. And he was just asking me questions, talking and stuff like that.
hmm
And like he could see on my face that I'm like, how do you know this stuff about me? And he's like, you don't think I know you, do you? I'm just like, I don't know. Like I just don't assume that stuff. And he was like, yeah, I know you.
Right.
I know you and your brother. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So yeah,
Yeah, he can pick up on anything. Like
absolutely.
if you're feeling some type, he knows it right away. But yeah, he's the guy in the city, man. I
Yeah,
love him. He's super connected. So,
yeah, that's what's up, man. I love hearing young people are in church, bro. So
mhm.
shout out to you, bro. That's dope for sure.
Appreciate it for sure.
Um, so coming from Catholic Central, but I just found out that you didn't go to one of the Catholic Central feeder schools. You
Right.
just ended up there your freshman year. So you say you're at Northern
Yeah.
before that?
Yeah. I went to Forces Northern
Okay.
all the way up until through eighth grade, and then
Yeah.
my freshman year, I went to Catholic.
Okay. So what brought you to Catholic?
So actually, I had an older family friend. His name is Matt Grisback. He was a hooper too.
Mm-hmm.
He was nice actually, but he I like worked out, grew up like working out with him, going to practices with him. My pops and his dad are really good friends,
Okay.
and he did the same thing. He went to Central and then went to Catholic for high school, and just had a really good experience. And I considered it, and I actually shadowed one day in my eighth grade year, and just kind of just kind of loved it right away. Actually, my guy Nolan Fugate, I don't know if you know him. He was a
I don't think so.
running back. He was a grade above me. He was like the best football player in the state his senior year. They won
Oh
the
wow.
state title. So this is
Okay.
my junior year.
Okay.
But we grew up playing AU together, and he went to Wayland. So, but we were always tight. Like we stayed close, and he was the grade above me. And he actually ended up going to Catholic his freshman year too, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad called me and was like, "Hey, Nolan just decided to go to Catholic," and I was like, "I gotta go. Like, I got my guy there now. Like, I heard great things about it. I was like, I gotta see what it's about." So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of what led me there.
Okay. That's dope, man. Did you still have like
Mhm.
friends and stuff at Northern while you were going
Yeah,
to
oh yeah,
Catholic?
I actually had a real tight group that we went to Young Fives together, and we're friends like all the way through.
Yeah.
I still talk to them to this day, but
Right.
they,
Right.
they it's funny. They were pretty salty. They were not happy with me. I didn't know like for sure, so I was kind of trying to keep it like low key. But I
Yeah.
remember like one of the last days of school, I was like, I got to break it to them before summer,
Mm-hmm.
and I told them, and they were like, "What? You're leaving us?" Like they were mad, but we
Man,
stayed tight. We stayed tight throughout high school, so it's all good.
that's what's up, bro. And that's real friends for you. Um,
Exactly. They were always supportive too. Came to
yeah,
games, like
dope.
did all that. So
That's
yeah.
what's up. That's what's up. Um,
hmm
I can't quite remember how Northern was when you were in high school. Um,
They yeah. Um,
so Ethan and
I don't
Trinidad, they're
really.
a little younger than you, right?
Yeah, they were younger. So
Okay.
actually, my senior year they were good because they were
Uh,
sophomores and they had a good year.
okay.
I don't know how they were the years before, but I think they actually might have gone undefeated my senior year in the regular season. But I think they
Okay.
lost like first round of districts.
Yeah, I think I
But
might
I mean,
remember
growing
that.
up, Northern was like they might have had a few good teams, but like
Yeah.
we weren't really like growing up watching Northern basketball.
Right. Right.
Like it wasn't like that. Like
Yeah.
no disrespect to them at all, but it was just like
I feel
it
you.
wasn't like I was leaving a really good program or anything like that.
Right.
But
Right.
I still like my guys that hooped there, Andrew Moore, Trent Summerfield, those guys
Mm-hmm.
like
Oh, I
they
remember
were
that
good. They
name.
were great players. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were my grade. But yeah, I
Yeah.
just actually got in the gym with Andrew and Ethan Erickson the other day, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
still cool with those
That's what's
guys.
up. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just saw Ethan
hmm
at the Storm Classic a couple weeks ago. Um yeah,
he had a great season.
he did. He did. I
hmm
think you're right. That Force was Notre team that went undefeated. I think they lost to Northview when Kyler hit that three. I
That's
think it
right.
was in
Yep.
districts.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I remember
That's
that.
right.
I think when Kyler was a freshman. Yeah,
hmm
crazy. Um, so everybody knows Catholic Central has a great history of basketball, really all the sports, but most recently basketball. So they're great players. Before you, you play with great players, including yourself was a great player, and then even now, like, why do you think that's the case, or why do you think Catholic Central just continues to reload? What is it about the program?
I think for me, I think TJ really did a great job of building it up because
Yeah.
they were honestly before the like my eighth grade year, I think they only won one or two games. In the year
Mm,
before that, it was the same thing. And those
right.
were TJ's first years, but I know it was at a standstill. And I know maybe like earlier, a few years before, they had some good teams with like Stuckey and those
Yep.
guys. But
Yep.
I was young for that, so I didn't really know about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, for me, like TJ just he runs it like a college program. So I mean, he
Man, that's what's
knows.
up.
Yeah, like he knows what it takes to play at the highest level. He played at the highest level for one. So
Right.
I think just he taught us how to work. Like I thought I knew how to work out, and then once I got with Coach TJ, he took it to a whole nother level.
Man,
And
bro.
that was huge for individually. And then I mean, he knows what it takes to be on a great team and what a great team looks like too. And so
For
like
sure.
he was big on building chemistry, like huge on that. We were doing team activities all, which I feel like in high school you don't see as much. Like
Nah.
you're just you're set time, you're in there, you're
Yep.
with your guys, but then as soon as it's over, you kind of go yourself. Like TJ,
Right.
we
Right.
were going on road trips together, doing activities. Like he was really making
Dang.
sure that we were like locked in like that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I, yeah, I definitely give him a ton of credit.
Right. Man, that's dope, man. That team chemistry and spending time together outside, that goes a long way.
hmm
Um yeah, I didn't really have that experience either when I was in high school. I went to Jenison High School.
Okay,
I mean we were good though, don't get me wrong.
right.
It seems like a lot of the years I was on the team, we had like we are kind of clicky and we had
hmm
kind of split, but we got along for the most part though. But
Yeah,
um yeah.
yeah.
So
I've heard that a lot actually.
yeah.
With some of my guys in high school that said that, and I'm like, I mean, we were always super tight. So
Yeah.
I was blessed.
Yeah.
That definitely blessed with that.
For sure, bro. Yeah, and that's why I mean you guys made it all the way to the Brez and
Yeah,
man, like some y'all had some games, bro, that year.
crazy games.
Talk to me about that Godwin Heights game, bro.
hmm
I picked y'all to win that game, honestly,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the like I think the week before I saw you guys play at Christian,
hmm
and I'm like, these dudes are just too big, bro,
yeah,
for Godwin. And then obviously Lamar went crazy that first half. But what do you remember
yeah,
from that game?
yeah. I mean, I remember it was a ton of hype. It sold
Yeah,
out by like Tuesday. I remember TJ
crazy.
like was telling me because I had study hall with him. He was like, "It's already sold out." He's like, he come here, called me over. He's like, "It's already sold out." So I was like, "This is crazy!" Like, this is my
Yeah.
first really like. I mean, my sophomore year we played Christian at Catholic with like Xavier and Dwayne, and that
Oh yeah.
was that was a big game. But I don't think it's
Yeah.
so like I knew for a fact that Godwin game like people were standing. And I
Yes,
had
bro.
never, I played there when I was younger, but I had never, like, I didn't know what the environment was like there. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
tight, like
Yeah,
everything's
bro.
up on you.
Yep.
So, I mean, I was super excited to play, and
Mm-hmm.
they came out like super hot. Lamar, I
Yeah,
think he had
bro.
like 27 in the first half. He could not miss.
Could not
He
miss,
could not
bro.
miss.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at that time, I think we were still figuring, like, we were a good team at that time, but we didn't click yet. Like, we really,
Yeah.
towards the end of the season, we were playing our best basketball. That's why I was, like, we were supposed to play them in regional finals too, but South
That's what I was
ended
hoping
up
for.
upsetting them.
Everybody was hoping for. Yeah. Yeah.
We would
Um,
have definitely got them the way we were playing
you
at
think
that time.
so?
I mean, it's easy for me to say now they got us, so
Right.
I'm
Right.
giving them the credit. But like the way we
Yeah.
were playing, I definitely feel like we would have got them back.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a
Um,
crazy game. Izzo was there. I remember that.
yep. I remember
There's a
seeing
lot of
him.
hype for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, so you know how Godwin has the like the track kind of upstairs with the
Hmm.
balcony. I was like in the corner, bro, just like with my camera, like a horrible spot, but
I actually remember
it,
seeing the highlights from that game from
yeah,
you guys. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I was banking on Godwin, you and Godwin meeting. I had a
Hmm.
choice. I was either gonna go to Godwin South Christian, or I think it was Grampus Christian and EK in the
Hmm.
district finals. I was like, oh, Godwin they're straight. I'm gonna just
Yeah.
go to CEK and Christian, and
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's just crazy to see. But
South's always tough though.
yeah,
I'll
they
give
are.
that to them. Like
They
they're
are.
consistent. Like every single year I was in high school, they had a good team. So they're
Yeah,
sneaky
yep.
too.
They are sneaky, man.
Hmm.
Got to come correct when you play them.
For
Um,
sure.
so you, I've interviewed like Phat,
Hmm.
KK, couple cats from CC, and you know, you were mentioned as like a player that they looked up to or they saw. So who are some players that you looked up to or that kind of brought you along into that leadership role that
Hmm.
you eventually got?
Mine for sure was Peter Furlick. I don't know
Hmm.
if you remember the name, but he played at
I don't think so.
Catholic. So he played at Catholic. His senior year was my eighth grade year, and that's
Okay.
when Mac was on the team that my family friend. So I was going to their games, and they weren't very good,
Right.
but Peter was
Hmm.
out there killing.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this dude can really like ball. And I actually got close with him through Mac, and so we like grew our bond. And I went to a ton of games that he actually ended up breaking his foot that year, but
Dang.
he went on to play at he won a national championship at Ferris, was all
Oh, dope.
conference. He played in Iceland for a year, like so it
Dang.
was really cool to see. That was that was another like big brother to me. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
definitely he definitely like paved the way for me, and always made sure I was in the gym early too. Like from a
Hmm.
young age, she was like, "If you stay in here, like this is where you got to be if you want to make
Right.
it." So, and he didn't
Dang.
even have a lot
Dang.
of hype either. That was like what was crazy. Like he was never one of those guys that like was talked about around the city or like anything like that. But I was like, man, this dude can really ball. And then you see
Yeah.
he made
Yeah.
it in the long run. So
Right.
I'm
Right.
glad that I was able to look up to somebody like that for sure.
Yeah. No doubt. That's what it's really about, bro. Like, you know, the ranking stuff is cool.
Hmm.
Seeing your name in articles and all that stuff, but that really don't matter after a while. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
At all.
Um, so yeah, shout out to him for
For
continuing
sure.
to grind and yeah. So I mentioned Phat and KK, two
Mhm.
standout players from this past year. Phat committing to Michigan, which is super cool. KK going to Wright State. Like, what are your thoughts on those guys, man, and how they're kind of continuing that tradition of great players?
For sure. Those are both my guys. I've known them since they were young too. They've been coming to
Yeah,
open gyms since they were fifth, sixth grade, and I always
yeah,
could see something special in them. But the biggest thing with them is they're always in that gym. They continued to work.
yeah,
Like they never let anything get to their head or anything like
yeah.
that. Like KK is always texting me like when I'm home. He's like, "Let's get in the gym, big bro," like all the time. And so I love
That's
it.
what's up.
Like, and it's crazy
Yeah,
because I mean, it was like when I was in high school, it was like a little brother to me, and now it's like we're going at it, like competing. Like
yeah,
he's
yeah.
a really good guard, and I think what separates Phat is his defense. Honestly, like I think he
Man,
has an
bro.
amazing. He's got a great offensive game, and it's going to keep
Yeah,
growing. But not do
for
many
sure.
guys in high school play defense the way he plays it. Like he takes it personal every single game.
Yeah, he
So
does. He
I
did
think
that day one
yes, I remember
as a freshman.
the state semis his freshman year. It was at Van Andel, and they
Yep.
played Ferndale, and he had like 6 blocks, like had to have had 5 steals. I was like, oh yeah, he's different. Like I haven't seen somebody
Yeah,
play defense like that at that young of an age. So I think that's
crazy,
what
man.
separates him. But yeah, KK's his IQ, his feel for the game, like he's always one step ahead, and he lives for the big moments too. Like he'll never shy away. That's something that I've
For
honestly
sure.
taken from him too. Just like watching him is like he wants to be there. He wants the ball in the big moments, and
Absolutely.
he embraces that. So I think
Absolutely.
that's what
Yeah,
makes him special too.
for sure. Yeah, man. Agree. Everything what you said. I'm gonna miss watching KK play. Yeah, been
Yeah.
watching him since he was probably eighth grade.
Hmm.
Fat, like sixth or seventh grade. So, um, yeah, man. Crazy how fast time goes
Right.
by, bro. And here you are almost done with college. So if you could think back on your high school career, sounds like, a lot of things went well.
Hmm.
You learned a lot and you learned from some great people. If you could go back and maybe tweak something or change a few things, what would it be?
Hmm. I've always said I don't like to regret anything because I think it's all a
Yeah,
part
of
of the
course.
journey and a reason why I'm here. But
Right.
I think after our junior year or my junior year, so that was Marcus and Jacob's senior year when we went to the
Yeah.
Brez. I kind of
Hmm.
I was like not complacent, but after I was like, man, we just made a run. Like I'm
Yeah.
like we're on the map now, like for basketball, and I still was working, but I don't know if I was the best leader I could have been my senior year, and I was the only senior too.
Okay.
Like I think I
Right.
was a good leader, but I don't think I was like I was trying to make sure that I was playing good and that like we were good as a team, but I wasn't really like bringing everybody along every day, like making sure
Yeah.
we're super connected and locked in like that. Like it was like this is my last go around.
Right.
I've kind of played my 3 years. Like this is like, and I was kind of in the back seat those other years, which I loved. I loved playing
Right.
with those guys,
Right.
but I was like, this is my year to where I get to score. I get to have the ball in my hands a lot. So
For sure.
I
Yeah.
definitely wish if I could have done it over again, I would have been more locked in on leadership, but definitely grew from it.
Yeah.
And I think we could have won. I mean, I still think we could have won my senior year too. We lost to South on a game winner in the regional finals, and
Mm.
I think Unity
Mm.
actually ended up beating River Rouge. So, and
They did.
yeah, we were.
Yeah.
I thought we were way better than Unity. So, I mean, that's what that when I look back, I'm like, man, I could have had two potential state championships, but like I said, like
Yeah.
it's all part of the journey, and
Right.
yeah,
Right. Gosh. Yeah. That's a good one, bro. I think I'm in the same boat as you, man. The leadership stuff
mhm,
and holding my teammates accountable. I
yeah,
I didn't do that, bro. I
yeah,
really didn't.
I never really either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like on the
Especially
court,
my senior year.
a little bit like during the game. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. But like during the
No, you
game,
good.
I would do it, but like in practice every day, I was like letting a lot of stuff slide that now I would be like, no
Right.
way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even
For
myself,
sure.
like just not being all the way locked in all the time in practice. So
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. Golly. That's a good one, bro. My other one though, my wife was looking at me crazy because at my mom's house I found just like a pile of like all of our stats from high school,
Uh-huh.
which is crazy. I'm glad we have it.
Right.
So I was just like going from year to year, and like my senior year, bro, I was just kind of disgusted with myself, man. Like I was just so inconsistent with my aggressiveness.
Uh-huh.
So like one game I would get like 9 shots up, next game 17, down to 10. Like it
Right.
was just like what was I doing? What was I thinking?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
I don't know, man. I talk to my boys all the time. I'm just say I just wasn't aggressive enough,
Mhm.
you know. And I think that stemmed from like caring about what people thought. Like I didn't want people to think I was a ball
Right.
hog. I wanted my teammates to be, but really my role was to score,
Mhm.
and it was a trend. When I was scoring, we won.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
So
crazy
yeah.
when you look back on it and how you feel about now versus like in the moment what you were thinking at the time.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
just
Exactly. But you're right, bro. It's all about, what you learn, and how you kind of make those changes from
mhm.
those mistakes. So let's get into college a little bit, bro. Right out of high school, you go to GV.
Mhm.
One thing that we got in
Yep.
common,
Yep.
hooping for Coach Wesley.
Yep.
So what was that experience like for you?
It was great for me. I definitely grew a lot in those 2 years there. It was had some of
Yeah.
my toughest times there and had some really good times too. I mean, my freshman year I
Yeah.
didn't really play a lot, so that was the first time I had ever experienced that in my life, and
That's
it
hard,
was
ain't it?
tough. It was tough.
Yeah.
And there was
Yeah.
times where I was like not really locked into basketball because I was just like I'm not gonna play, and like I would get
Right.
excited for practice, but I'm not getting in the work
Hmm.
that I usually get in, and I'm kind of just
Right.
chilling. But it was really that off season was really like when I made the biggest jump, and I kind of like re-fell in love. I felt like that my first year, I kind of like my love for the game was lost a little bit. Like I still love
Okay.
basketball, but just like I didn't have the same
Hmm.
fire and drive that I've always had. So like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then being around, I mean, that year we had, I think I played with 4 or 5 dudes that are playing pro now in those 2 years. So like,
Dang, bro. Dang.
just watching them and like seeing how they went about it every day, I was like, man, this is cool to like really chase after something like this. And when COVID hit,
Hmm.
we
Hmm.
we we had a really good team my freshman year, and we got snubbed out of the tourney. I don't know if you remember hearing about that. We were like 23-7 or something like that. Got snubbed. I don't know
Wow.
how,
Yeah.
but
That's
yeah,
crazy.
like we had Jake Van Tubergen. He was an All American. Like
Oh,
he's
dog.
dog,
He's a
straight
dog.
dog. But
Yeah.
like we
Yeah.
had Christian Negron. He's playing in Puerto Rico now. Like just matched up with Hassan
Hmm.
Whiteside the other night. So just crazy, yeah,
Wow.
crazy stuff. Like we really had a squad. But anyway, so COVID
Yeah.
hit, we got sent home, and my teammate from Australia couldn't get a flight till like a few days, and he had this routine. He plays in he played in the NBL for a little bit. Now I think he plays in like NBL one, so it's like one step below the NBL in Australia. And he's still playing.
Oh,
He's still
dope.
playing pro. So, but he has this thing
Wow.
where after the season, he like doesn't touch the ball for like 3 weeks or something like that. So we went
Okay.
back to my house, and he just worked me out for like 3 days and like showed me everything he does. Like talked about taking care of his body, and we had just some really good talks. And I was like, man, I want to pursue this thing with everything I have. Like I still have a lot of love for this game. Like why just be
Yeah.
complacent with being a college basketball player? Why not try to take it as far as I can? And
Right.
I think that
Right.
summer was really when the mindset set switched. That was I started going to Life Quest every morning, working out there.
Hmm.
Jerry let
Hmm.
me use the gym, so I've been there for the past 3 summers now, almost every morning, and just
That's
really
what's
really
up.
figured out how to work. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
GV was great for me. I mean, I still talk to a lot of those guys, so it's definitely a good
Yeah. Yeah.
experience.
That's what's up, man.
Hmm.
So we obviously we were some years apart. I was there 08 through
Hmm.
2011. So what were those preseasons like? I'm interested in seeing if
Yeah,
there's some
yeah, we
similarities.
had the 2 mile. Always had the two
Uh
mile at what was that? 5:30 on the track, something early.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep. Did you have to do 12:30?
I don't think we did 12:30. I heard that. I'm not gonna lie. I heard that he was like back in the day. Like it was well, like not back in the day. I'm not like that was that long ago. But like he
Yeah.
was he was like a lot hard. Like he used to be way more intense. But I mean, he
Yeah,
still
bro.
no. Like I remember the COVID year, my second year, we were running hills like all the time because
Mm,
we couldn't practice
yep.
inside, and he set up all these stations outside, and we were working. He's big on being in shape and stuff, which I think is really
Oh
really
yeah.
good. I mean, if you have an in shape
Yeah,
team,
for
it
sure.
definitely helps.
Yeah.
So yeah, those were
Yeah,
I love
man.
the preseason because we played open gym all the time too. So it was like, oh,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
see what
So
everybody's
do
been
we. So
working
do
on
we.
in the off season. You get a
Right.
little feel for the
For
squad.
sure. Yep, yep. Yeah, you're right, bro. Coach Wesley was all about being in the best shape
Hmm.
and so you could play defense for, 35
Right.
seconds straight every possession. But I remember my freshman year, so I had like a rough start as
Hmm.
well. So we went to Utah and we played against the University of Utah. Got waxed, bro. But
That's still sweet.
coach was like, yeah, it was
Yeah.
dope though. It was dope. But coach is basically like, oh, we lost because we're not in good
Hmm.
shape. But in my mind, or most of our minds were like, whoa, Utah, their elevation is like
Right.
higher than normal. So like we're only out here for 3-4 days. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So we didn't really get used to it. Because I remember in shoot around, bro, like we were running like early offense, we're running rub and bear, all
Yep.
that stuff. And I'm just like I was like, I'm out of
Right.
breath during shoot around. Like what? It was
Uh,
real, bro. But coaches thought we were out of shape. So y'all did 33s, right?
no, we didn't do that either.
You didn't do
I'm
33s?
telling you, we did it.
What?
Wait, oh,
That's crazy.
is it,
It's just down and back
okay,
three
we did
times in 33
22s.
seconds. Oh, you
Yeah,
did
we did
22s? Okay.
22s.
Okay. Yeah, we did
Yeah.
those two. All right. So coach was like, yeah, every Monday we're going to come and do 33s right before practice starts and then we'll get into
Mhm.
it. So we had to do 6 33s in a
Oh,
row
dang. Yeah.
before practice. Like we would immediately go into practice. It wasn't like, all right, get some water. Nah, it was like after the 6:33, beep. All right, early offense. Like
Oh,
it
you did
was
that to start practice?
to
Oh, that's
start
wild. See,
practice,
we used to
bro.
do it
Yeah, it
we did
was
22s to finish, and sometimes we got to like 7 or 8, and I'd be gassed. Everybody would be
okay.
gassed, but we
Yeah,
never did. We didn't
brutal,
run like that at
brutal.
the beginning of practice.
Man, yeah, freshman year we did, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was like, we got into the
Mhm.
games. I didn't really. I mean, I got tired, but
No.
like our stamina was
Yep.
like way
Yep.
up there. Yeah, bro. But yeah, man, that's
Yeah,
wild though.
for sure.
That's wild. Yeah. So I could talk about GV and we could probably have a whole hour about this, but
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you transitioned to Spring Arbor. What was that
Yep.
transition like for you? How did that come about?
Yeah, it was actually a really smooth transition for me.
Yeah.
The transfer process itself, the first time was a little bit different because I didn't know what to expect at all. I was just betting on myself and like
Yeah.
looking for a bigger role, new opportunity, and
Right.
the school like it was a lot of the same schools that recruited me in high school were kind of reaching back out the local schools, but
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know, I just none of them. It really didn't feel like that's where I was supposed to go, and I was actually like, there was a point where I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do next year. You know, I don't have like a place that I really like. And then Coach Beckman,
Yeah.
who was our assistant at Spring Arbor, he played there too. He reached out to
Mhm.
me and got went there for open gym and didn't really know what to expect. I just looked them up and they won a national championship in 2019, and I saw they were in the Crossroads League, and I knew that that was a really good conference. So I was like, okay, here we
Yeah.
go,
Yeah.
and came there and
Hmm.
it was clicking. Like I remember I just came in there was killing like
Yeah.
right away. Like everything
Yeah.
felt right, and I could tell like all the guys they were giving me the ball, like they were putting it in my hands, and I was like, yeah, this gonna be a good fit. And coaches were cool. Everything
Yeah.
just felt right. Like I could tell the whole time that that's where I was supposed to go, and just praying
Right.
on it and stuff. Like I was just asking for a sign that to give me, and that's all I needed. So yeah, I committed like literally like a
Yeah.
few
No
days
doubt.
after that. So
Wow.
mhm.
Wow. I'm a guy of faith too, so I think that's important to, go where God leads you. So yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah, that's super dope,
exactly.
man.
Mhm.
And man, like with Spring Arbor, were they recruiting you out of high school too?
No,
No?
no,
Okay.
they didn't.
So it just kind
No,
of okay. That's what's up. Who else was recruiting
yeah.
you in high school?
In high school, I had Indiana Tech was my first offer.
Mm,
And then I had a lot of NAI schools like Aquinas, Ave Maria. They're out in Florida. They have a good program.
yeah.
And then Hope, Calvin,
Yeah.
the local schools like
Okay.
that. But actually, Jacob Plotkovich was at UIndy,
Mhm.
and um, so I got built a relationship with their coaching staff, and they came and watched me play in AU, and I
Yeah.
actually played really well when they came. So they gave me a offer, and after they made theirs, Coach Wesley came in to a workout um, before school, and we had a. That's when GV came about. So yeah,
That's
I
what's
wouldn't
up.
say I had a ton of looks, but I had everything I needed. Like
Yeah.
I was always
No
happy
doubt.
with
No doubt.
what the schools that were recruiting me.
Yeah. And that's all that matters, bro. That's all that
Hmm.
matters. Um I didn't have a lot of looks either, bro. But I had the right ones, and I wanted to go to Grand Valley bad cuz my brother was there.
Yeah,
And I was up there playing open gym since I was a sophomore. So it just felt like home already.
right,
So
for sure.
I think
That's
that's
kind of how
important.
I was similar. Like my mom works at Grand Valley, so I
Oh, okay.
grew up going to games, and
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, man, I just want to play. I always wanted to play there. Something about it. So
Yeah.
once they gave me an opportunity, I was like, I can't pass this one up.
No
Like
doubt, man.
I got to take it. So
Yeah,
I'm yeah,
for,
don't
for
regret
sure.
any of that at all.
No doubt. So you got one more year eligibility left, right?
Yep.
And you announced a little while back, a couple months ago, that you're entering the transfer portal. So just
Hmm.
curious who you decided to transfer to, who you be
Yeah.
hooping with next season.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm finishing my last year up at Graceland University. It's in
Okay.
Iowa, NAI school. So
Dope, bro.
really good conference. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Built a really great relationship with the staff there. Coach Langley, he was at Michigan Dearborn before, so he recruited me in high school actually too. So
Okay.
I knew him a little. I had talked to him before, but
Oh, dope, dope.
yeah, yeah. Once they called, we built a relationship, and Coach Lawrenson, who's the assistant, they were on me right away. We were talking multiple times a week, and
Right.
once they made the offer, I was like, yeah, same type of thing, like praying on it.
Yeah.
Um, felt every sign like that was the spot for me.
Dope,
And it's gonna
man.
be different. I'm gonna be in Iowa. I've never spent any time there in my life or anything, but
I've never
at the
been.
end of the day, I'm getting my degree and I get to play ball and
Yeah.
for a good team and get to keep chasing my dreams. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Man, congratulations on that,
Appreciate
bro.
that.
That's a big deal.
Appreciate that.
And um like transferring. So this time, this process, because I'm sure it was probably
Hmm.
different than last time,
Yeah, way
maybe.
different.
But
Yeah.
when like, how does that? I guess from start to finish, how does that all work?
Yeah. See, it's it's a process. I never thought I was going to transfer, like going to GV. I didn't really know anybody who had or ever heard any thought about it or anything. But
Yeah.
after I transferred from GV, I was like, all right. Like I was never the kid like growing up to like play for a bunch of teams or like bounce around. Like I always stayed with my squad, stayed with my guys. Like I switched once I was in high school, but like it
Right.
wasn't like I was bouncing around and
Right.
I was like, okay, I'm transferring. looking to finish out my career here. And obviously, you never know how the years are going to go. And I had 2 really, really good years at Spring
Yeah.
Arbor. And this year I had a great
Mm-hmm.
season, and I was just looking for a new opportunity. It's just kind of how things went. And so I had to make that
Right. Right.
decision. It was a really tough one, especially, just having one more year. And like I said earlier, I was just kind of betting on myself. And like, I still have higher aspirations and trying to, reach my goals. So making that decision was tough, but
Yeah.
definitely playing in the Crossroads League and having success there helped this time around. And I got a lot more love than I did the first time off, like right away. So it was a good
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
But again, like there was that point where I was like, man, I don't really know. Like I like these schools, but it's like,
Yeah.
is this really the right fit? Like a lot of them, like they're
Right.
interested, but they're not offering right away, or the team might not be the fit that I'm looking for. So it kind of just, like I
Yeah.
said, like I really just prayed on it a lot and left it up to God. And I knew once I built that relationship with the coaches at Graceland, I felt confident that that was the place for me. So that just made my yeah.
Man. Yeah. That's super dope, bro. And
But I think sorry, but
you good.
I think the I think the portal is a good thing. I really
Yeah.
do, because I think
Okay.
that, like, for example, Marquise Noel, Kansas State this year, like
Yeah.
he's at Arkansas Little Rock, and
Mm-hmm.
he's doing the same stuff he's doing now, but
Mm-hmm.
nobody knows him because he's there. So it's like everybody's situation is different,
Right.
and like it's transfer. It's not an easy thing to do. Like if you can stay and you're comfortable, stay. Like 100%. There's no. I'm not
Yeah.
saying like
Yeah.
everybody should transfer at all, but I think it's a positive thing, and I think it's worked out for a lot of people. So that's kind of
Yeah.
my view on it.
I hear you on that. I got mixed feelings about it.
Hmm.
Um I like it and I like it for the players. I think it's tough for the coaches in a lot of ways.
Definitely,
Like
definitely. Yeah.
when you mix in the transfer portal and you mix in NIL, like
Right. Right.
that throws in a whole new wrinkle that coaches have to use like for recruiting. You know what I mean? It's like,
Hmm.
dang, that I don't envy coaches today. I know that.
No. Yeah.
But there are great examples, like you said, Marcus Noel, or even like football. What's his name? Joe Burrow.
Yep.
Um,
Exactly.
yeah, so it's
Hurts.
just
Yeah.
yeah,
Same.
Jalen Hurts. Yep, yep.
Yep.
So yeah, man. Yeah, I guess it's just like anything, whether it's food, whether it's TV, your phone, like if it's abused and you use it the wrong way, I think that's when it could get bad. Or
Agreed.
if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you know.
Agreed.
So yeah,
100%.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's always interesting to really hear when somebody does transfer, like what the ins and outs of why they did. And sometimes you're like, well, is that really a good decision? Like, is that really the answer? But then sometimes it's like, oh, that
yeah,
100% makes sense,
yeah.
and I get it. And I feel like those are, I mean, obviously, sometimes guys just want to leave and they're looking for something different. That's okay. But I feel like when somebody has like a plan, and they know what they're trying to do, like that's when you see stuff work out. So it can
Oh
go
man,
either way, though. Definitely can go either way.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Good stuff, man. For the last few minutes, bro, I just want to talk about. I'm not sure how much you dive into this, but
Hmm.
just like mental health in sports, and really the first thing that I thought about as I was writing these questions earlier today was like Ja Morant.
Yeah.
Um, he's kind of been a hot topic for the last few months. Kind of picked back up like a week or two ago.
Hmm.
And then I don't know if you saw his IG story this morning.
Yeah.
Did you
I
see
actually
it?
just checked it out. Yeah, I did. I saw it before
Yeah.
we got on here.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
That.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, what are your thoughts on that, bro? Like, what do you think is?
Yeah. I don't. The Josh situation is a tough one. Um, I can't really. I
Yeah.
feel like I can't. I don't really know what it's like to be, have that type of attention on you and that type of fame. But I
Right.
know he's a
Right.
tremendous talent, and I feel like, I mean, every time he has interviews, he has a good heart. Like you can see that. Like he shows love.
Yeah.
He brings great
Absolutely.
energy.
Yeah.
You know, he's a positive guy. I think he's just got to figure out. And obviously, that I mean, this is me speaking on John Morant, but I think that his circle is just seems like it's bringing him down a little bit. And so I think, which can be tough because those are
Yeah.
guys he grew up with and he loves and he's been around his whole life. So it's hard to just like be like, hey, like I can't be around you or whatnot. But I
Yeah.
mean, the guns and stuff, it's like you
Right.
got all these people looking, these kids and everybody looking up to you. And it's just sad that now that's the
Yep.
narrative on him because he's such an amazing story. He came from a small
Yeah.
school and only had a one
Uh-huh.
offer. So
Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah, but
Yeah, man.
I think he'll get right. I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, I think he will too. He seems like a really smart guy.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously his decisions haven't been smart, but we
Right.
all make dumb choices and stuff like
Exactly.
that. So it just so happens he's famous and he makes millions of dollars. So
Right.
those choices are hurting him more
Hmm.
than you or I. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
I feel
man.
like for
So
us, like as players, we're able to not relate to obviously that situation, but just understand that there's a lot of pressure that goes on with anything like you do, and
yeah,
especially let just basketball alone, and then basketball on top of the entire world watching you, and it's
right.
like no matter whatever you do, everybody's watching.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There's nothing you can't do without someone seeing it, and it with the potential of it going viral
Hmm.
super high. So, yeah, you kind of mentioned kind of under a lot of pressure.
Hmm.
Um, obviously, you know, me, you, and like any other players that play D2, D3, or even D1, like aren't as in aren't as in like pressure like Ja, but
Right.
being a
Right.
student athlete comes with a lot.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, man, talk about that, man, and like the challenges of just being a student
Yeah.
athlete every single day.
For sure. I mean, it's a full-time job. You're
Yeah,
you're on a on a routine and a schedule every single day. Well, like no matter what do you have going on with class, you know you got practice at some point. You got to be mentally
right,
locked in every single day.
right,
And that one day that you might like be 80% there, that's the day that something might go wrong or you're going to get into it with a
right.
coach or with a player or something, that could go wrong, but yeah, I think that it's being talked about more, but there definitely needs to be like more ways for athletes to be able to communicate and talk to people. Like
For sure,
I
for
actually
sure.
saw a therapist this year, but I didn't even know we had one until
Oh,
somebody on another
yeah,
sports team like was talking about it. And I overheard them. And so I kind of did my own like diving into it and
yeah,
figured that out, but it wasn't like coaches or the school was like, yeah, like go do this, go see her, go that, talk to Carrie or whoever it may be. But yeah, there's a lot of pressure though. Like, I feel like it's really hard to not let your identity be in your sport. And I know
for sure.
I've struggled with this many times. After a bad game, you're just like, you don't feel right as a person. You feel less of a person, and it's like that
Right,
doesn't define you. And even the opposite side, like when you have a
exactly,
good game, you're like, oh yeah,
exactly.
I'm like that or whatever it may be. But no, I think that the
Yep,
biggest thing
yep,
is that
yep.
being a student athlete, it comes with all different types of emotions, and you're going to go through no matter what role you're in the
Mhm.
team, whether you're the best player on the team or you're the last man on the bench, you're going to go through a lot of emotions throughout the season. A lot of different things are going to happen, especially with basketball.
Right,
From preseason to the end, it's a
exactly.
super long season, so stuff's going to be
No
going on
doubt.
all the time. And yeah, I think that I've
Hmm.
been blessed that I've had teammates that have been open about talking about that stuff. So I've had people that I can lean on at every
That's
place
good.
I've gone. I mean, at Catholic,
Yeah,
at Grand Valley, at Spring
no
Art, I've
doubt.
always had that. So I've been super blessed. But I think just overall, we could do a better job as like with programs and university, like have support for student athletes.
No doubt. Yeah, I agree. Shameless plug. That's why me and a couple of two of my boys, and then my teammate at Grand Valley, Josh Roberson,
Mhm.
and actually one of my competitors, but he's my boy now. His name is Chris Warner. He played at Northern Michigan, and then my
Mhm.
sister. We started the Chosen Academy, and that's what we want to bring
Yep,
to programs, to student athletes, to be able to have those spaces where student athletes can talk about that stuff, man, and
for sure. That's
because
awesome.
when you're in your right mind and you feel like you're at peace with more at peace with things, you play a lot better,
Exactly,
you feel a lot better. So yeah, very
for
important,
sure.
bro, very
That's
important.
awesome that you're doing
So
that.
no, yeah, appreciate it, man.
No,
It's been a year already, which is
I
crazy.
just got a
So
call. So
um definitely looking
yeah,
forward to the future and what that looks like. um so really, last question for you, bro. For like the young listeners and people watching, what I guess what's your biggest advice for these kids when it comes to dealing with your mental health, or just your mental approach to basketball and life, really?
yeah. I think that it's okay to talk and
Yeah,
in having being down at times. Like you don't always have to act like everything's perfect. I feel like especially being on campus, like you're a college basketball player, like or even for younger kids, like you're a basketball player. You're supposed to act like you're always good and you always got everything figured out, but that's just not the reality. And I think that like people as like with friends, I was like we are open about our feelings and we talk about
not
them
at all.
a lot, and like especially for men that's hard to do. That it's hard, and when you're younger too, it's like, oh, you're a baby, you like I was an emotional
Yeah,
kid, I know that, but I was just
dope.
like lucky to end up finding the friends that
Yeah,
were
for
okay
sure.
with me being that way and being open about it.
Yeah.
So like I think that these younger kids, it's
Hmm,
harder to
hmm.
realize it when you're younger. I think just
Right.
being able to have like deeper relationships with your friends and being able to talk, I think that helps a ton.
For sure.
So,
For sure.
yeah,
Man, that's great advice, bro. Yeah, just having friends that will accept that, and I'm grateful to have that too. My boy Josh, and really my all my roommates. So Josh and Nick Carreri, my roommates in high school, like we could like cry in front of each other. Um, like all of us at one point had girl problems,
yeah,
crying over a girl. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Like,
right,
and we weren't like, oh man, stop being a. You know
exactly,
what I mean? We're just
exactly.
had our arm around each other. Like it's all right, bro. It's
Hmm.
all right. Just feel it. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah,
really, I don't think it's common. I don't think it is, but
no, yeah.
yeah,
And I'm hoping that
yeah.
becomes more of a theme where it's like that because I'm the same way. Like my friends, like
Mm-hmm.
they've seen me at my lowest moments. I've seen them at their lowest, and
Mm-hmm.
like they've never looked at me any differently. And if they
Right.
did, then I knew they weren't my friends. So that's kind of
Right.
it's a good
Yeah.
way. I think being surround yourself with the right circle is huge.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
it's everything.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
mhm.
Great advice, bro. All right, before I get you out of here, quick hitters, bro, real quick.
Yeah.
Um, three players, hoopers that you like to watch.
LeBron won ever since I was. It's my first favorite player, favorite athlete.
I got a sense you're a LeBron fan. Following you on Twitter.
Oh, if you follow me on Twitter, then you know for sure.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always,
Yeah.
always got to show Bron love. That's my guy. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a big Bron
Mine too.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie, Kyrie,
Mm.
ever really since he played with Bron on the Cavs, that's when I
Yeah.
first like started watching him, and I was like, I was watching him because I was watching Bron, but I was like, LeBron is LeBron, like he's one
Right.
of a kind, but Kyrie
Yeah.
is a and for the NBA, he's a undersized guard and he's incredibly skilled.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like,
Mm-hmm.
that's somebody that I really want to watch and started,
Yeah, for
taking
sure.
taking after his stuff.
Yep. Yep.
Third, I watch a lot of different guys, like overseas guys, and
Mm-hmm.
there's actually this. I'd say Marquise Noel this year was probably the
Man,
next big one for me because just seeing somebody
exciting,
on
bro.
that stage like doing it at the highest level and being that size. It's just like, and I think that there's been a lot more success with smaller guards recently, and people are starting to realize
Yeah.
like these, if you could play, you can play, and you
Right.
can
Yeah.
build teams around a guy like that. Like that team was entirely built around him. He made them go. So just
Man.
really, I've been really tapping into like his workouts and seeing how he
Yeah.
goes about his business and stuff. So yeah, this year those
That's
were
what's
my
up.
my main three guys, but Braun and Kyrie have
That's what's
always
up.
been the main two for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to see Kyrie in LA.
Me too.
Um, at, at first I was like, yeah, I want it. And then when they made all those trades, I was like, I think we're good. But now I'm like, nah, we need to make this happen
I
because,
literally did the exact same thing. Like when we didn't
yeah,
get him, I was like mad, and then when we
right,
after I
same.
saw how we played when we made the adjustments at the trade deadline, I was like, oh, we're good. But
Yeah, we're
after
straight.
the playoffs, it's like, man, we need Kyrie. We need
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Agreed, bro. Agreed. Um, so what's the best basketball game that you've seen live?
That's tough. I think I think it was I want to say I was a sixth or seventh grader. We had a tournament in Detroit, and we went
Mm,
to this high school game, and it was Muskegon versus Saginaw Arthur Hill, and it was
oh,
Deontay
dang.
Davis, all those guys
Okay.
versus Eric
Yeah,
Davis
yeah,
for Arthur Hill. I don't know if you remember him. He
yeah.
played at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had a long
Yep,
pro
I remember
career.
him.
It was the
Yeah.
crazy. Oh, Brian Bowen was on that Arthur Hill team too.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was a crazy,
Dang.
crazy game, and I didn't know who at the
Yeah,
time. Like I was young, I didn't know who any of these guys were, and I
yeah.
was just there like in awe. Like they're in high school doing this. Like it was back and forth all game.
Yeah.
I think Eric Davis finished with like 35, but they were down. Our Muskegon
Sheesh.
was up two, and he was. I was. Everybody stood up. I remember he had the ball last possession. He was sizing up, got by his
Yeah.
man, went up for like a tough finish, and Deontay Davis pinned it at the buzzer. It
Dang,
was a
bro.
crazy game. I don't even know where it was at.
That's
It
what's
was on the
up.
east side somewhere, but yeah, that
Yeah,
was probably
yeah.
the craziest game I've ever been to or seen in person.
Dang. That's
Hmm.
dope, man. That's dope, especially being so young and
Yeah,
yeah, that's dope. All right, last question. Who should be on the show next?
we got to get some more college guys, man. I love the
I
show.
like that
That's
idea.
I think
I like that.
maybe even I don't know. I got to show love to the CC guys, so maybe Marky or Jacob
Hmm.
will hop on here.
Man, I would love to have both of
Hmm.
them for sure.
Hmm.
For sure. I'll try to reach out to them. But yeah, that's good, man. I like having a mixture. I like having the high school kids on here.
Definitely, definitely got
And
to.
college kids
Yeah,
too. And then
especially with them
yeah,
being in the area too. I think it's awesome that you guys are giving them a platform like that. Like I wish we had. I mean,
yeah,
you started it when I was in high school, like my junior year maybe, but I wish we would have
yeah,
had the
yeah,
coverage that they have now. Like it's awesome. I
yeah.
think
It's
and it's
it's
for
crazy.
Grand Rapids
Yeah,
too. I mean, we got Xavier in the league. Dwayne, Marcus, and Jacob are starting their pro careers. Like Jake Van Tubergen's playing
yeah,
pro. We got
yeah,
all types of guys that are really
yeah.
really hoopers, and people don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's awesome.
And Kobe,
Oh, Kobe,
Kobe's climbing up
yep,
the
first round.
yeah. I saw somewhere, bro. He's like top 10 right now. Yeah,
What?
bro. I forgot where.
Wow,
I forgot what website,
wow.
but they had him there in the lottery.
Yeah,
So,
no, I mean he's legit.
um,
Kobe,
yeah,
there's no reason why I don't think he could be a great NBA player. So
agreed, bro. Agreed. Well, hey man, I'm gonna let you out, man. I appreciate you even reaching out, and it was good getting to know you a
yeah,
little bit and talking, bro. We'll have to stay in touch, man.
definitely for sure. I appreciate you for having me.
Word. Well, thanks to Austin. Thank you guys for listening and watching. If you're listening, make sure you give us a review on Apple, iTunes, and on Spotify. On YouTube, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment on who you'd like to see on the show next. Appreciate y'all. Till next time. Peace.